So weekday afternoon, it's time to change the oil on the Corvette. And I know oil changers aren't that glamorous, but one question I get a lot is, how's the turbo kit doing? Well, I just went on YouTube and checked, and it has been almost exactly 4 years since I bought the turbo kit. It's been running and driving on the car for, I guess, about 2.5 years. I just thought I'd give people a look up underneath at, the health of the turbos, the work I've done up to this point, motor mounts, all that kind of stuff. Still doesn't leak, still doesn't have any problems, still makes boost anytime I want it. So let's take a look up underneath and just kind of see how things are. No leaks really to speak of since I put the old cheap eBay pump back on there. Inside the, this is the mount and the heatsink from the Spartan oil pump. None of the steel braided lines are having any problems. That's just debris. Maybe that's a tiny little bit of leak, but that's probably the only one. Still got the boost controller solenoid back here. This turbo is not leaking anything. Air filters are a little dirty, but still okay. There's the bushings I put in there. Still no squeaks, no rattles, none of that issues. Yeah, here's the other ones. Here's the other air filter, which is a little more exposed, a little bit more dirty. There's the couplers that run back through there, both sides. Still no issues there. Only issue to speak of that's a drivability issue is right there. If I hit a really big bump at speed, you can see where the tire will just barely touch and rub. Other side, pretty much the same thing. You can see where it'll just barely touch and rub if I hit a really big bump. Here is the gas tank crossover. It's been in there for a year now. No issue with that. Doesn't look like anything's leaking. No issues with fuel pump modifications. Still hanging on strong with my zip ties. That actually looks like it might be oozing just a tad. But I've never really smelt gas. Here's the header wrap, and I've got it wrapped all the way over the axles, all the way to the turbos. Oh, here's those wastegates I put on last year. They're still doing their jobs. They're still working really well. Set up to the front of the car. You can still see the K-Tech aluminum flywheel in there. Still looks like it's real nice and shiny. No bolts have come loose, no rattles, no shakes. There's the 2 plugs I put in the oil cooler. Still no leaking. There's the O2 sensor bung. Still no issues with that one. This is actually a fuel line. No issues there. I'll take you guys up to the top here in a minute. Here's the front bushings. Here's my AlumaWeld piping. Still no issues. My brackets still work really well. Both sides. No issues there. Nothing is chafed or rubbed through. I haven't been underneath here since last year. So it's got about 10,000 miles on it with the turbo kit, maybe 15,000, maybe. And I've got about 3,000 on it since I did all of those clutch mods and all that stuff, that whole long series where I basically ripped the whole car apart. It's got about 3,000 miles on it since there, so this is really my first chance to get underneath it and kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to change the oil, then I'll take you guys up top so we can see all the mods in the engine compartment. This is what it looks like under the hood. Cheapy eBay fuel pressure regulator, still doing great, no leaks. Here's my fuel pressure gauge little deal. My return thing, still working great. My install for my flex fuel sensor, still working great. No issues, no leaks. This guy, apparently I've got a boost leak, but it'll still make 6 psi, which is crazy. Ball valve still working great. Catch can still working great. No issues. I mean, everything still works great. My choice in electrical tape from whenever I tapped into this wire down here for my power on my sensors working great. 3-bar sensor still working great. I mean, everything is still great. Put that clamp back on over there, and that's really it. That clamp is the only thing I have found wrong in a long time. So, looking good, going strong.